Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Nico Madueke has agreed to join Arsenal this summer. Talks ongoing with Chelsea to agree a fee which could be in the region of 45 to 50 million. Mikel Arteta is hoping that Arsenal will sign Eberechi Eze and Victor Gyökeres before preseason in the next 14 days. We shall be talking about Nico Williams. He signed a new deal. 10 years. He didn't even give Arsenal a chance. We'll be talking about that and obviously some departures on Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Arsenal, July is becoming, quite a messy month, but we are making progress on some deals, and that is what matters at the moment. Let's discuss Nico Madueke. Let's discuss the future of Nico Williams, and of course, let's talk about how Arsenal were played by Nico Williams to get a better deal at Atletico Bilbao. But let's start off with the Nico Madueke story as reported by Fabrizio Romano. Romano says that the player has now given the green light to join Arsenal. He's agreed to join Arsenal, and the agents of the player are now keeping very open conversations with the club as the player is 100% willing to join the club this summer. A couple of other clubs are interested, we understand, maybe Bayern Munich because they've been rejected by so many other clubs. But anyway, we don't understand which clubs are actually interested in Nico Madueke, but Fabrizio says that there are other clubs that will be wanting to sign Nico Madueke. I've got a feeling Nottingham Forest could be part of those clubs. I mean, they're selling Elanga to Newcastle. There might be an avenue where maybe Madueke is appreciated by Nottingham Forest, but Arsenal want this deal purely to happen very quickly. They want a resolution on this deal as quickly as possible because Madueke is one of the players that Mikel Arteta wants to work with during preseason. Now, we are being told as well that when Arsenal were drafting their plan for a new attacking player, they had Nico Madueke as a versatile forward, left wing, stroke, right wing. But when Arsenal were also drafting their plan for a backup for Bukayo Saka, Nico Madueke became one of the most interesting options, although Arsenal have discussed other options like Igor Paxiao at Feyenoord. We also discussed Malik at Lyon, and we discussed a couple of other players that might not be happening because Madueke has now agreed to join Arsenal. Now, what does this mean? Well, talks are ongoing between Arsenal and Chelsea for a deal to be agreed. Now, we're hearing 45 to 50 million. For me, that is too much. 50 million pounds. That is what Arsenal paid for Ben White. That is 10 million more than what Arsenal paid for Julian Timber. That is 20 million more than what Arsenal paid for Martin Odegaard. And that is half of the price that cost us to sign Declan Rice. 50 million for Nico Madueke is a little bit too much. Now, and maybe this is me being affected by the fact that he's just a backup to Saka. And maybe this is me being affected by the fact that Chelsea have just upgraded so massively by signing João Pedro. They're trying to get Kudus and they've signed Jeremy Gittens. And they're now dumping Madueke into Arsenal. Like, if we become a dumping site for Chelsea and they're dumping players in our club at high prices, that is bad for business, that is bad for PR, and that's a very bad image for Arsenal. But if you take away all that, I am happy and grateful for Arsenal to finally get a backup for Saka. That is what matters. And like, if you look at the points on this deal, the number one priority on this deal is that Arsenal have woken up finally and they've said, we are going to sign a backup for Saka because this has happened for so long and it's high time we acted. Otherwise, we're going to have another season where Saka picks up an injury and the whole season collapses and the whole season falls apart. For me, the problem is with the price with Nico Madueke. As a player, I don't have a problem with him. Him coming from Chelsea, I've got a problem with that. I've got a problem with that. Like, if he flops, I don't think Chelsea have ever given us one player that has become a star. Like, we gave them Ashley Cole, right? They gave us Peter Cech, flopped. They gave us Jorginho, mediocre performances. They gave us Sterling, biggest flop at the Arsenal club in history. They gave us William Gallas. I don't know what to make of that guy. And we gave them Olivier Giroud, and Olivier Giroud won titles with these guys. I think he won the Europa League with Chelsea. So when it comes to signing players from Chelsea, Arsenal need to be very careful because we are getting so many flops from that team and it ain't beautiful and funny at all. But Noni Madueke talks ongoing with Chelsea and Arsenal. The players given the green light to join Arsenal. Mikel would love this one to happen before pre-season because he's one of the players that he wants to work with during pre-season. And Madueke joining the club is very vital during pre-season. Why? One, you want to know how are you going to interchange them with Saka. That's number one. But also number two, you want to know, apart from him being a backup to Saka, what else can he provide this Arsenal team with? Could he be like a left winger? And maybe we could sign Madueke. He plays well on the left wing. And all of a sudden, Arsenal don't need a left winger like we don't need Rodrigo. I'm kidding. But Mikel wants him during pre-season. Now, the other two players that Mikel Arteta is hoping Arsenal will finalize before pre-season, and that is Eberechi Eze and Victor Gyökeres. I'm hearing that Arsenal have set an ultimatum. Mikel Arteta actually has set an ultimatum for the arrival of a new centre forward. And he's saying, if you're giving me Gyökeres, 2 weeks. If you're giving me Watkins, 2 weeks. If you're giving me Šeško, 2 weeks. So Arteta set that ultimatum just to make sure that we don't get the surprises we got from Nico Williams. You know, Arsenal have waited for Nico Williams for 2 damn years, and he snapped that. He snapped us. And he wanted backup, and somehow we're going to talk about him, but he's not a Barcelona player, and he's still at Atletico Bilbao, and he's not leaving this summer. But the whole point is that Mikel wants Madueke, Eze, and Gyökeres, who is now leading as Arsenal striker option, to arrive at the club before pre-season. It's important for the manager because this is going to be a very, very big season with big pressure. Imagine Arteta will have got about 7 to 9 signings and he will have spent about 250 to 350 million. Imagine the pressure that comes with that. Even if Kroenke and Barca and whoever is supposed to hold Arteta accountable doesn't, as a person, as a manager, if you have any ambition in your bones, if you have anything like the desire to win, this is a season where you're going to be demanding yourself a lot from yourself. So it's imperative that he's given players early. It's imperative that he works with his signings in order to set up a team that will win next season. Because it's going to be a lot of changes to this Arsenal team. We might start with a new left winger, or we might have a new left winger next season starting. We might have a new centre forward starting. We might have a new number 10 in the team. The arrival of Eze could actually create a new role in this Arsenal team. Very, very possible. Where you have like Rice, Zubimendi, and Eberechi Eze in the team. And then there is a possibility of Arsenal having, some changes in defense as well. So there's so many players coming in. There's so many changes coming in. It's imperative that the manager is given all these players early in order to figure out how to work with them. Will he get them? With Noni Madueke, I think that's a deal Arsenal could do today, right now. Like, just agree a fee. Maybe Chelsea might be a little bit difficult and then be turning their knob, trying to listen to the updates on the Mohamed Kudus, situation on a few stations, maybe on Chabasa Fama Radio Uganda. They're trying to listen to who works on Chabasa these days. I've taken a long time, but they're literally trying to understand: is it possible for them to get Kudus? And if it's possible for them to get Kudus, it might be a game of give us the money, we get Kudus, you take Noni Madueke. So Madueke can happen in the next 2 weeks. Eze can happen in the next 2 weeks if the release clause is not made too complicated by Crystal Palace, right? If the release clause is kind of set forward and the structure of the deal is going to be set forward as well, I can see that deal happen as quickly as possible, right? I can see that deal happen as quickly as possible. The Gyökeres one is one that is tricky because with Gyökeres, it's about Sporting trying to show that they have got this undeniably unshakable resolve. And I understand if you're if you're the president at Sporting, you want to show the whole world that when you say your word, it actually holds power and it matters, right? Because he's come out and said, we are not selling this guy at this price. But is it true? Or will they budge and, shake their resolve? Let's wait and see. But these are deals that can be done. Mikel Arteta shouldn't worry. These are deals that can be done very, very soon. There is a deal that will never be done for Arsenal, and that is the boy Nico Williams. This boy has signed a new 10-year deal until 2035 at Atletico Bilbao, and he's got the audacity. To come out and say, I feel at home. This is where I want to be. Do you need to disrupt transfer plans for Arsenal, Bayern, Barcelona, blah, 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 for you to finally realize that you have and you want to be at Bilbao? Do you have to disrupt a whole transfer plan for these big teams for you to understand that you want to be dressed in red and white strips, with black shorts next season? Like, for the next 10 years, I'm so surprised. And I don't know. There is a theory that I really don't want to buy into, but it is true. It could be true. And the theory is that Nico could have used Arsenal's attention and Barcelona's attention in order to negotiate a higher fee, right, with Atletico Bilbao, in order for him to get better wages at Bilbao. Because the truth is, why is Nico Williams being paid 100+ K at Bilbao? Why? Like, let's talk about wages. Yes, wages have become extraordinarily ridiculous. But why is this guy, again, earning 163K? Like, I remember we were desperate. I was desperate. And I was saying, give him whatever he needs. Give him whatever he wants. And that was because Arsenal had come off the back of a very bad season. And our attack had been devastatingly rubbish. But 160K for Nico Williams, a 22-year-old young player that doesn't have any experience and has won nothing and knows nothing about playing in the Premier League, that is ridiculous. And he's going to be earning more than that at Atletico Bilbao. Now, this guy has literally just set his life, and he's okay now. For the next 10 years, he's gonna be earning 200+ K at Bilbao, and he's gonna be very concentrated. He's gonna be very, very calm. He doesn't have to move, right? So he's saying that he wants to settle with his family. You know what is embarrassing here, and what hurts is Arsenal were really on this guy to the extent that we waited for 2 years, right? And we might now end up chasing Šeško for 2 years and chasing Nico Williams for 2 years, and we get none. Then I would ask a simple question. Why did Arsenal postpone their efforts to sign a forward again? Because last summer, we could have got a center forward and we could have got a winger. We didn't, hoping that we could sign Šeško and Williams this summer. Well, I can give you the news that Williams is not happening and Šeško has become complicated. Interesting, and it's typical Arsenal, by the way. It's typical Arsenal fashion, but very, very interesting stuff there. In terms of a few departures that we can talk about, Fulham are intent on keeping Reece Nelson, but it will depend on Arsenal's asking price. But Fulham would love to keep Reece Nelson at the club. Arsenal are hoping to sign 2 defenders if we see Zini and Kivia leave. So there's a possibility that we shall see this club sign 2 defenders, and that could be Jora Hato and Christian Mosquera. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Just on the Thomas Partey situation, Arsenal released a statement, and they said that the player's contract is out, right? And he's no longer part of the club. And at the moment, we cannot make any comments. But the lawyer of Thomas Partey has said that the player has been very, very cooperative with the police, and he will continue to do so, and he's going to get a chance to actually defend himself and get the truth out there. I hope Partey didn't do it. That's the first thing, and I hope it's the best, and I hope the best for Thomas Partey.